And I would say I didn't come into logistics by choice. It was by chance. But then I developed a very good passion for it. And my first boss is also a woman. And the way she handles logistics, the passion she had for logistics inspired me a lot. So that also motivated me to have a career in logistics. It needs lots of energy, and every task is like immediate. Like you sometimes get an inquiry in the morning, you quote and you win the business, you have to handle the cargo, and then the cargo goes in the evening flight. So it's that very fast, and it needs people with lots of energy also to handle it. And I loved that energy. And currently, I wouldn't say anything is a challenge. I just enjoy creating solution for every challenge. The organizations are supportive because there are lots of women. The gender equality is spoken a lot about, and you also see that like many companies has a minimum ratio for women employees, like even on the top level. So I think it should be comparatively quite easy for any woman to have a career in logistics. And all my decision making is made on verifying facts and transparently letting my team know that why I'm taking a decision. It's not that, okay, I just take my own decision. And there are two things which I'm really proud of. One is I have zero favoritism, and other one is I hold high integrity. So this also, like, I lead by example. So with the leaders who I have groomed and developed, follow the same footstep these days. I have any role. The very first thing I do is to create a space for the team to accept me. Because gone are those days where you think you are a leader and the team should accept you. You should actually create a role. Sometimes I always compare it with parenting. Like you can't be really friends, but you should be a little friendly also. But the seriousness should also be there in terms of following what is needed. First of all, bifurcate between what you control and what you cannot control. So what you control, you should first take that. And then, of course, you can deal with what you can't control on the second stage. So what you control, you first divide that into actionable parts. And then again, work with the team. I'm a leader who will always work with the team. I just don't do anything in isolation. So I came back to India. I set up the gateway in India. And that was a very great learning. Like after spending so many years in this industry, especially in air freight, to set up the gateway for such a huge organization was a very rewarding experience, I would say. And this is a milestone for me.
Welcome to today's Logistics Spotlight. So today's Logistics Spotlight episode is brought to you by Hindustan College of Arts and Science Autonomous, Coimbatore. So in collaboration with logwiz, the college offers a top-tier BBA program featuring expert sessions, industrial visits, incubation support, internship, and placement support. So both visionaries together offer an impeccable support for the students. So let's get right into the interview. Today, we're featuring Sophia Perlin, Director, Ad Product, South Asia, Middle East, and Africa. Hi, ma'am.
Hi. Thank you for having me here. And it's a pleasure to share my thoughts and my journey here.
It's absolute pleasure having you here. So let's get in the video. I'm very eager to get to know you. So the first question that I always ask my guests to know them more and, like an icebreaker session. So what was your goal growing up? What did you want to become?
I never wanted to become what I am today because those days this industry was not a very structured industry. So I didn't even know what logistics is. It so happened that I went with one of my friends who asked me to accompany her to visit a consultant for her. So I was just accompanying her, and then when I stood there, that gentleman asked me, like, what are you doing? I said, I'm just going to finish my graduation. And he said, do you want to work? I said, where? He said, logistics. I asked him, what is logistics? And then I thought, okay, why not? Then I said, okay. And then I joined the organization. And I would say I didn't come into logistics by choice. It was by chance. But then I developed a very good passion for it because those days the formal training to understand what is logistics was not there. And it was very rare and it was not accessible to everyone. So I would say that I had the privilege of getting into these kind of trainings on a very early stage in my career, because my first company, it used to be a very huge organization then. So they identified my potential in a very early stage and they enrolled me into such courses, which created a very strong base for me in terms of knowledge. And my first boss is also a woman. And the way she handles logistics, the passion she had for logistics inspired me a lot. So that also motivated me to have a career in logistics, and here I am.
Okay, so you entered logistics just because someone saw that chance in you.
Yes.
Okay. So can you share us more about your key responsibilities that comes with your current role as a director of air product, and what aspects of the role is most rewarding as you have come a long journey?
My current role, what I enjoy most is solution designing, like to create value proposition for customer, because now you have lots of verticals like high tech, industrial, retail, and the solution what you create for one customer may not be good for the other customer. Now you have also semicon. As India embraces semicon logistics, it has a very special requirement to handle it. Not everyone can handle it.
Can you tell us what is semicon logistics?
It is semiconductors. So we were largely depending on other countries for this. But then during COVID and also with the geopolitical situation, India had an opportunity to think out of the box and why we should not be manufacturing it on our own. It's a long-term plan, but I think we are very close to it. And to create a value proposition for such customers is possible only when you have a deep knowledge in logistics, and also to understand the customer side of it, like what commodity is this, at least the basics of how to handle it, what to do, what not to do. And this will help you to create a value proposition. So I would say solution designing is something which I really enjoy.
Okay. So as you are heading the air freight right now, so were you in air freight from the starting of your career, or was it a coincidence? How did you land in this?
I think it is a coincidence. I never planned it because, as I said, my very first job in logistics, I landed up in air freight department. So I really did not know much about that. But as I already mentioned, that I had the privilege of understanding it in a very short span. And then air freight needs lots of energy, and every task is like immediate. Like you sometimes get an inquiry in the morning, you quote and you win the business, you have to handle the cargo, and then the cargo goes in the evening flight. So it's that very fast, and it needs people with lots of energy also to handle it. And I loved that energy, and I'm a person full of energy. So it just matched my energy.
So managing or heading the air product for such a big company like C.H. Robinson, so what are the challenges that comes with that?
Challenges are there, but managing this role for such a global organization, C.H. Robinson is one of the top global players in logistics. They manage about 23 billion of freight every year, and they are on the consecutive 23rd year into the Fortune 500 list.
Oh, that's great.
And so it's actually a privilege to work for such a huge organization. And I think challenges in the industry is common for everyone. I wouldn't say any specific. Are you trying to ask me that in particular to my current profile or challenge? Currently, I wouldn't say anything is a challenge. I just enjoy creating solution for every challenge.
So, how many years of total experience do you have in freight forwarding?
As I said, actually, I landed up into a job much before I finished my graduation. So I have more years of experience than anyone can match up to my age or experience. So I am exactly about 30 years in the industry now.
You don't look like that. So you have 30 years of experience. You might have worked with many big players. Currently you're working with C.H. Robinson. You have worked with Kunanagal. So being part of such big organizations and moving away from them and building something new and visionary, how does it feel for you?
See, I have actually worked for, about 5 organizations. This is my 5th organization. I'm a very stable person. I don't hop jobs that easily. And Kunanagal, I spent around 21 years. And that was the prime time of my career, I would say. And I learned a lot. I had lots of global exposure to handle global customers, creating strategies, and I was part of the roadmap initiatives. And the exposure, what I gained there, I think helped me to build confidence, think strategically, and act globally. So this is how my experience is.
So, as of now, when I speak to youngsters or young people, most of them have the misconception of, freight forwarding or shipping. People work on the ship and, work on the port or terminal. And most of the women do not want to come inside this industry. So, what part of being in freight forwarding is most fulfilling for you?
If you specifically ask about women being into this industry, I think during my times, I think the support system outside your family was not that great. I mean, I had a very good family support, and though every woman has to go through their family, taking care of their babies and all this is part of our life. But I was very determined that I should not lose my career. Like, I was managing it very well between my family and my career, and I should thank my family for supporting me. But these days, for young women or young aspirants who want to create a career in logistics, I think the organizations are supportive, because there are lots of women. The gender equality is spoken a lot about, and you also see that like many companies has a minimum ratio for women employees, like even on the top level. So that also encourages you, and then your maternity policies are better, supported by the government. So I think it should be comparatively quite easy for any woman to have a career in logistics these days.
So which part of your career, or when have you started, engaging in leadership roles, and what are the styles of leadership do you follow, and do you have any personal philosophy or morals that you follow?
I think Kunanagal was the first job where I was under leadership. So ever since year 2003, I'm in leadership role. And my leadership style is quite very simple. Like, I'm very transparent. I have an open door policy. And all my decision making is made on verifying facts and transparently letting my team know that why I'm taking a decision. It's not that, okay, I just take my own decision. And I have zero favoritism. That is one of the thing. There are two things which I'm really proud of. One is I have zero favoritism, and the other one is I hold high integrity. So this also, like, I lead by example when I do this, So with the leaders who I have groomed and developed, follow the same footstep these days. I have seen that. I'm happy about it.
That's very simple, and most of the most unnecessary thing here. A leader does that. When a leadership style is simple and easy for people to follow, it just encourages them to go higher. So following up with that question, what methods or motivations do you use for your team members to reach their highest potential?
Motivation is basically, every team is diverse. Like, if somebody has some strength, somebody has some weakness, and then the first thing I do is identify the strength and weakness of my team. And when I take up any role, the very first thing I do is to create a space for the team to accept me. Because gone are those days where you think you are a leader and the team should accept you. You should actually create that space and make them accept you, and show them the bigger picture of the focus which you want you and the team to have. And then when this happens, then the team will start letting you know about their strength and weakness. It's not that, unless they open up, you will not know, right? So then you will help them to enhance their strength to the organizational interest, as well as on their personal growth. And on their weakness, I give them developmental plans on how to improve. And we also do a tailor-made program for each of them. I give them short projects to work on something because nothing comes handy as on-the-job training. And especially on my direct reportees, I always practice this like transparent way of doing things. Like, if I am asked to make a report, I will make the report. But then I will tell them how I'm doing it. I will ask them to produce the resources so that they know, okay, with this resource, what am I doing? So in case, I have a practical example of grooming somebody. And after I moved into my next position, that person came into my position and he was really ready, plug and play. Like there was no need for me to give him any handover, because that's a kind of transparency and grooming I did to the team.
That really stuck with me when you told that you give people the space to accept you as a leader. So what are the steps or what are the methods that you do? Because giving space for people is one of like a dynamic thing, right? So how do you handle that?
See, space in the sense, a leadership is actually a very crucial role. Sometimes I always compare it with parenting. Like you can't be really friends, but you should be a little friendly also. But the seriousness should also be there in terms of following what is needed. And but then you always want them to succeed. That a true leader will always unite people. They want the team to collaborate. You want them to be together, because the team can be diverse, but they cannot be separate. They have to be collaborated, right? So in that way, I tell them, like with the way I deal with them, they know that they have the room to come and talk to me. They don't have the fear factor will not be there with the team. I'm approachable, so that makes them to talk. Okay, and if I have a problem which I'm trying to solve, when I call the team and say, okay, this is what I feel, and I ask them, okay, what do you think? Can we do this? So that creates a space. Okay, she's asking for my opinion. She's not just following, or deciding on our behalf. So this will encourage everyone to talk. If I find somebody not talking, I will ask everyone else to stop and say, okay, can you tell me? Because then some people may not be very vocal, but they might have the best of ideas. So as a leader, it's also your duty to make an introvert also to speak. So that is how I create space. I would not say I have one approach in that angle. So I have different approaches for different people.
Okay. So while the points that you say to me, I can clearly understand that you very much foster continuous learning and growth in your team members and employees. So I want to understand, how does it work in real time in a company, especially in a freight forwarding company when everything is buzz, and how do you encourage people to continuously learn and grow from their current role?
Okay. See, one thing I have always done in my career as a leader is, I have hardly hired positions from outside whenever it is, especially on the senior position. Because I will tell the team, I will groom the team, I will keep them ready for any upcoming positions. I will show them a career path. And I generally do not wait for the year-end appraisals to happen to tell them where they did right and where they went wrong. So I frequently engage with them, regularly connect with them to tell them, give them constructive feedback on what could have been done better, and whatever good job they have done. And I also have a habit of celebrating team success, because if you start appreciating individual success, then they will be more fragmented. Everyone will try to show their own good side of it, So in that way, you have to develop a person, but you have to develop the entire team also. That is the leader's responsibility. You can't have favoritism and grooming one person. But not everyone are same. The aspiration will differ. So in that way, when you groom them and give them ideas of what could be coming up next and how early they should get ready for this, that motivates them. And they have visibly seen that I generally reward people with growth whenever there is an opportunity. So that in that way, I think it is well demonstrated. I have actually given practical proof of how people can be motivated, and if they follow the guidance, and then they will reach to their fullest potential.
As having this conversation with you, I understand that you really like talking to people and really evoking them, and you like being in the leadership role. So it comes with the hardship as well, taking toughest decisions and facing challenges, sometimes having to do things that you don't want to do or don't have to do. So how do you face all that?
See, of course, yes. Again, I will compare leadership with parenting, because you have to be sometimes strict also, because not everyone will like it, and you have to take tough decisions, and sometimes you may have to part ways with some employees. All this will happen because of certain reasons, maybe because of organization or because of that individual, whatever it is. But then initially, leadership, I also believe a kind of born leadership qualities, but it gets enhanced in the due course when you start becoming a leader. When you see ups and downs, then you become a very refined leader, right? So in that way, I think I've learned a lot, and I'm very glad that I can say I'm exactly having the qualities of a good leader, which I always wanted to be, or I aspired to be. The hardships, do you want to have any particular...
I want to know some of the toughest professional challenges that you faced. It might be about a shipment, or it might be handling team, or how did you approach?
I can cite about COVID as an example. Everyone had that in common, but I think every experience would of course will differ depending on the organization and the individual. COVID suddenly, like, we were asked to work remotely. Yeah. And as a leader, you have to ensure that your team is monitored, but it is not like spying also. Like, you should not ask, have you logged in, all this. But I approached a different method, because I gave clear communication in my expectations. I motivated them, because everyone were also in the fear of like what will happen next and all this. So the first thing was motivation, to assure them that nothing should go wrong. And second thing, we drastically, in that difficult situation, improved market share, because if the business is more, the people are safe, right? So we also did this. And I also gave them the bigger picture of why should we go after new business and increase market share in these tough times? Why should we stay agile? Because that is also helping ourselves and helping the organization, right? So in that way, I also help them to have a very good work-life balance, because initially it was like indirectly to ensure that they are logging in on time. But then eventually it landed up in a situation where everyone were working beyond the normal working hours, because I think not everyone were hiring also at that point of time, So it was like I had to ensure that their work-life balance is kept. So instead of asking them, did you log in? I started asking them, enough. You have a right to disconnect and go be with your family. Please don't work beyond this time. And we used to have a morning meeting every day just to align, stay connected, because you are so used to seeing everyone in the office, and suddenly you are not seeing anyone, and then remote and office. Maybe every family also would have some challenges. So in that way, I think managing that was something which was difficult, but we successfully managed it as a team.
Okay. So that was a very new thing, telling them when to stop and giving them space, as you told. It's a very nice thing. So I want to know that, a lot of people want to come inside this industry. So very few women get into leadership roles like yours. So what do you think is stopping them, and what do you think might help them to grow bigger?
Okay, I think, from my very first job, I've seen lots of women working with me. And as I grew up in the ladder, I saw lots of them having different preferences or priorities. For some reasons, they decided not to pursue career in logistics, or they stayed where they were. That could be because of two reasons, in my opinion. That one could be because of family support. They really did not want to be highly ambitious. And other one could be they did not know their, strength. Yes. Like if you believe in yourself, if you think, no, I want to achieve this, if you are so determined that I have to build a career on this, I'm sure it is possible. I do not believe when women cannot become like this, or cannot grow up in a ladder. there could be some challenges which you should know how to handle it professionally, but still come up. And in that way, I think my current organization also is very pro supporting women in logistics, and they take care of us very well. And in that note, I'm sure women who are aspiring now will have the support of most of the organizations, because the HR is also having an eye on this, equality in gender, like gender equality, whatever you call. Yes.
So, as in the starting of our conversation, you mentioned that you're very good in maintaining work-life balance. So, I want to know, how do you do that?
I'm a very organized person. I don't remember that in the last 30 years with different companies, different bosses, different situation, I've never been in any stressful situation of, I'm not able to manage my work and life. No. Maybe it is because two things I would say. One is I was very organized, and I always work very closely with the team. And I know exactly how to give which task to who, so that they work as a team. Eventually they learned. And also, it will not allow any work in their department to get escalated. See, as a leader, more often you will get escalations only after office hours, right? Yeah. So, but if the team knows what to be done and what is the timeline, if they respect and they are also organized like you, then nothing comes. But on the other side, I take regular breaks and to unwind myself. And I draw a very clear boundary between work and personal life. And of course, any business critical, of course, I attend to it. But other than that, I have good hobbies. Like over the weekend, I have a very beautiful garden, and I've spent time on that. And I cook for my family, though I have a cook at home. I love cooking for my family. I do that. And I'm a fitness freak. I do lots of workouts. So all this keeps, it's very balanced, it helps me.
So, being in this field, most people say that it's a very time-sensitive field, freight forwarding, and air freight especially, more than ocean freight. Air freight is a little bit time-sensitive. So, during the high-sensitive times or high-pressurable times, what are the things that you do to keep the team intact and, flowing?
Okay, during high-pressure times, see, you have to, first of all, bifurcate between what you control and what you cannot control. So what you control, you first take that. And then, of course, you can deal with what you can't control on the second stage. So what you control, you first divide that into actionable parts, and then again work with the team. I'm a leader who will always work with the team. I just don't do anything in isolation. So call the team and tell them, okay, this is what we are going to do, guys. Like, who will do what, divide that into parts and assign it according to the strength of people, and then keep a timeline. And then I also believe in taking short breaks during such time. Like sometimes I walk out of my cabin, go sit with the team, joke something, crack some jokes, laugh it out, and have coffee with them. And then it's all eased out. They will enjoy facing that challenge instead of looking at if everyone are having a serious face and thinking, oh my God, we have this task to be done. Maybe if it is very critical. When as a leader, I lighten it up. I help them to smile and do the work. I believe in working with fun, in the office also. Like it helps.
So, can you please highlight the milestones and achievements throughout your journey?
Yeah, okay. So, I was talking about that I went to the US and learned about the process and how the gateway concept can help us to create value proposition for the customers. And so, I came back to India. I set up the gateway in India. And that was a very great learning. Like after spending so many years in this industry, especially in air freight, to set up the gateway for such a huge organization was a very rewarding experience, I would say. And this is a milestone for me. Yes.
So talking about milestones, so there must be some setbacks and challenges you have faced, as you told me during COVID times and all of that. Is there something you'd like to highlight to us, and how did you come out of that?
Setbacks, again, maybe COVID. See, I'll tell you what. Generally, overall, there was also an article called The Global Resignation during COVID. It was globally, people were very panicked and they were trying to protect themselves and they were trying to find another job, thinking that, okay, maybe because nobody knows what is COVID and how long it will last and how things will go on, So, to motivate the team and stay between the top management and my team to encourage them and assure them that nothing is going to be wrong and retain them was a real challenge. Because I saw that people were like running from pillar to post to see what next and do we really, because everyone, I think including us, all of us were panic whether the industry is going to survive because the passenger side of it was shut off. And nobody imagined how the cargo industry would go. But luckily, I think the cargo industry picked up really nice, very well. But in between the gap, the fear factor of your team and to assure them without you yourself not knowing what the future is going to be and retaining them was a bit difficult thing. But I think I managed that well.
Okay. So how do you assess the current state of freight forwarding sector in South India?
In South, especially, I can cover just all India for that. See, currently with the geopolitical situation, I think we are little strained with all the tariffs and other situations. But I would honestly think and say that this is temporary. I'm sure all the governments will come together to find a means for us to work together. But on the long run, with lots of technology adoption done by the government also and lots of policy push given by the government, I'm sure India will remain as an attractive market in the global eyes. And we will maneuver these difficult times and will come out of that. So we are going to be an very important country in terms of exporting to the world, I would say.
So we've come to the end of the interview. So just have a last question for you. So what guidance would you give for the recent graduates who are liking to pursue a career in shipping and logistics?
For the graduates, I think first of all, they're very lucky because they have institutions to teach them logistics. So to learn it by books is very important, which none of us had that in the past. So that itself is a very advantageous thing for them. The second thing would be to learn about AI technology. Here, I would like to again touch base on C.H. Robinson's artificial intelligence has been taken on high priority, and AI technology application into creating value proposition for our customers and enhancing the work culture in terms of reducing man hours and increasing the productivity of our own staff is remarkable. So for the fresh graduates, I think learning about AI and related technology is a must, because the future is all about application of AI everywhere. And freight forwarding is definitely going to have more and more AI application. So with the basic knowledge of what is logistics industry and with the technology added to it and a strategic mindset, and to have, if somebody wants to aspire to be a leader tomorrow, the soft skills, leadership skills, everything has to be in focus. But most of all, they should have patience to grow. Like they have to have, they have to be part of the work, learn the things, and then they can grow. Because I also see some youngsters who are really rushing to grow, that may not be good for logistics, I would say. Like, because even today I have learning. Like every day is a learning experience, especially in air freight, every day is a learning. So once they learn at least reasonably well, they can definitely have a good career in logistics.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing such insightful information. So having this conversation with you is very nice, actually, to sit down and talk how the industry is and how your leadership style is and about your current company's innovations and digitalization. So thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you for having me, and it was really a pleasure to share my thoughts and as well as to talk about my organization, C.H. Robinson. We have increased lots of market share, and I'm glad that I was able to share my thoughts with you.
Thank you. So we have come to the end of today's episode of the Logistics Spotlight. So I had a very igneous conversation, and it was very nice to have such people sitting across me and sharing their life story and journey. So if you want to see more such videos, so tune in to the Logistics Spotlight, subscribe to our channel, and like and share. Thank you.